numeral 5. That number 5 means that there were at least 5 or 6 of these serviette rings, so that when you went to visit your great aunt Agatha, and you were staying for 2 or 3 days, she didn't want to have to give you a fresh serviette for every meal. So, at the first meal, you'd have your serviette, she'd give you a ring, and she'd say, remember, you're number 5. Well, that's dining room etiquette for you, circa 1910. Were you to sell it to a serviette aficionado, you'd find you could get maybe as much as 50 to 70. But here in Peterborough, outside on one of the stalls, milliseconds ago, it could have been yours for £6. Yum, yum. Now, let's cast our minds back to Kate and those blues.
Tell me about your fishing, ladies, because I would have thought it would be quite nice to find something to do with your fishing interest. Because you're both amazing fly fisherwomen, aren't you?
Yes, but there's a difficulty there, because, of course, the antique rods are lovely, but not very collectible because it's difficult to display them. Reels are more collectible, but you really have to know what you're doing, and fortunately, Sue and I haven't been around that long that we would...
Maybe we should just try and find you a fish.
Oh, fish would be great.
Fish would be good.
Fish would be great.
Yes, hurry up, blues. Don't take too long to mull it over.
Do you recognise that design over there?
Pool pottery.
Pool pottery. You watch the show every day.
I do.
Look at the vibrant colours.
I know, I love it.
But it has a restricted price. You've got to remember that. It's never going to take off and make you a fortune. Do you see what I mean?
Okay.
Because we all know what it's worth. So for auction, it's best to try and find something that no one really can value.
Hang on a minute. The blues are up to something fishy.
Ladies, look at this. This is just up your street.
Oh,
Look at
it
that.
is,
What sort of
isn't
fish are
it?
they, do you think? Carp?
They've got no adipose fin, so they're not...
No, what's an adipose fin?
It's an extra fin that game fish have, so we know that they're not
It looks a
game
little
fish.
bit more like a catfish.
Yeah, maybe koi carp, though.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Well, now I've learnt about the fish, I can tell you about the silver, because this is absolutely beautiful quality.
Yes.
It is by Asprey's. It's a ladies' compact, but I'm really sorry, ladies, to dangle the carrot, because this has a price tag of £495.
Oh, my goodness
Wow.
Never mind, girls. It was the one that got away, eh?
But I think it's...
And it looks like the reds are getting all watery-eyed, too.
It looks like it could be coral or something like that, or something from under the sea.
All right, it does.
Under
It has that look, doesn't it? Yeah, Lisa, what do you think?
I like it.
And where do you think it comes from?
I'm going to say it looks very Japanese to me.
Well, it's definitely Oriental, isn't it?
Yes,
There's no doubt
definitely
about
Oriental.
I'm glad
So-
you picked it up.
it. Let's have a look. So we've got depicting there. Are they cranes?
They
What, the
kind of
birds?
look like cranes,
They've got
don't
very
they?
long legs, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got deer on the base there.
Yeah.
Both quite important creatures in particularly Chinese culture or mythology. The crane representing long life. Yeah.
Right.
Now I don't need to scratch it, but if I scratch that base, I'll be able to cut into it like soap.
Oh!
Yeah, so it's soapstone.
Amazing!
Yeah, so it's a soft stone, which is very, very easy to carve. Dating probably to early 20th century, kind of thing that we might have brought back from Hong Kong.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's lovely. There's an awful lot going on
What
there.
do you think?
What will be a trade price for us?
I'll take 15 off, bring down to 70.
70 quid. Oh, I can sense something coming here.
Could you do 60?
I'll do 65 and then that's good.
Yeah.
Blowing a kiss, does that mean we've done the deal?
It does.
The reds are in perfect harmony. Now, can Kate work her charm on those blues?
What's that? Oh, it's quite scratched.
It is quite scratched. It's quite nicely done, though, when you look at it close up. But tulips, I'm looking for a manufacturer's mark,
Okay.
and I
And there's
can't
nothing.
see anything at all. Well, brilliant. Tell me about this.
It's Barrel-like, Czechoslovakian Art Deco, obviously.
Is it marked?
No, it isn't, no.
And it's 30s?
Yes, 1930s.
Czechoslovakian.
Yes.
It's actually quite nice quality. It's got a lot
Yes,
of
it
detail,
is,
though,
yes,
isn't
yes.
there? What's the best you could do on it?
About 80. Yes. Okay.
No,
Big
I
part
think
of
we
the budget.
need it a little bit less than that. I'm going to be really cheeky, and feel free to say no, but I'm going to offer you £40.
No. Sorry.
What's your absolute...
Just let me find.
All right, thank you. What do you think, girls?
Yeah.
While he goes and has
Well,
another think.
I'm worried about the scratching, and I'm worried about the fact it's not marked.
I think if we could get it for the right price.
Yeah.
Sort of
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
We'd need it a little bit less than that, wouldn't we, girls?
Yeah.
No, I'm not confident on guaranteeing.
No. Okay, right. Thank you very much, though.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
very
thank
much.
you.
Not exactly bowled over then, girl.
Wow.
Okay, well, come on then.
Art Nouveau?
Yeah.
Is it WWF?
WWF, isn't that the wrestling?
No, it's the wrestling, isn't it? What am I trying to say then?
I think she's trying to say WMF.
WMF.
WMF?
Yeah. Spin it over. Oh, hello.
Oh,
What's that say?
there, we got one there.
World Wrestling Federation. You're right. Yeah. She was right.
No.
Yeah. It's another maker, Etane Finn, because WMF are the famous
Yeah.
German maker.
I
aren't
know
they?
that, yeah.
I think the casting is okay, but it's not WMF quality.
Do we need to look at the price, see how much they're
yeah.
asking?
Okay, how much is it?
138.
138.
That seems quite a bit, doesn't it?
I haven't got a feeling.
No, no,
All right,
no,
okay.
no gut reaction. It is lovely.
But we've got to win.
Yeah. We have to win. We're far too competitive
Okay.
not to win.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, that's the spirit. But the clock is ticking, as Kate has noticed.
I've got a long
Little travelling clock, yes. You can see it's got a winding mechanism on the back here, and quite clearly made in France, déposé, which means made in French. It's a 30-hour movement, so you do have to wind it up every 30 hours, but it's what I think something really stylish. The black enamelling is also in really good condition. You haven't got any bad scratches or chips there. It's very geometric in style, it's very 30s, very Art Deco, but it's got a little case here which it does fit quite snugly in there, which would suggest it's the original case. There, look at that. And the case has obviously seen better days, but in some ways that's quite good. It shows it's a period clock. It's also protected the clock really well.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it. We disagree on a lot.
What do you think? But you agree on this?
We like it.
Maybe we ask the stallholder if we take the dish as well, the lovely opalescent dish with the tulips on, whether he might do us a fantastic deal if we took the two.
Okay.
It's got to be worth a shot, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sneaky Kate.
I'm just thinking if the gentleman could do a super deal.
Well, if you had both, we do 120 for both.
Plate and the clock.
They're quite concerned about the scratching
Yes,
on
I
the
know.
plate,
It's
the
been
condition
used,
of it.
hasn't it?
Yeah,
Yes,
it is the scratching.
Yeah.
It's the only bit that's worrying us.
What about a flat 100 cash, and we'll take the two?
I love both.
Yeah.
You sure?
Absolutely fine with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Double whammy. Well done, girls. Now, those reds have just one item still to buy, and there's still just 5 minutes left on the clock. Time to start thinking outside the box.
Look at the box.
Oh, have a look at the box.
Yes.
Oh, well, this is real territory.
Yeah, it's got dovetails, look.
Yeah,
But they're
big,
quite-
thick, chunky dovetails.
Yeah. And it looks like a cast lock as well, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Sloping front.
Yeah.
It looks like the original hinges.
I love it.
So it's made from oak. Yeah. And feel it. Rub your hand along there.
No.
Can you feel the ridges?
Yes.
That's a hand-cut chunk of oak that's been hand-finished.
Right.
Look at the hinges. Look how
I
they're
know,
fixed
it's lovely.
onto the case. All with hand-forged clout nails.
Come
No
here.
screws.
Yeah, you have a look.
It's
Yeah.
that lock.
The escutcheon plate is much later than the box. That is an 18th century plate. So if that's much later than the box, and that's 18th century, how old do you think the box is?
17th.
17th century, yeah. Could be English Civil War period. It was made to carry something quite specific.
Bibles?
Yes,
Is that it?
it's a Bible box.
Oh! Sorry, it's completely over the top.
Brilliant.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
But it would carry one great big family Bible. So there you have it. That's the real thing. That's a real antique. 200 quid.
I'll take 170.
Yeah. It's worth it if you wanted to take it home. but for an auction, general,
No.
you might be in a loss situation.
Okay.
If you twisted my arm to 160.
160. Gut feeling. Definite.
Yeah?
Yeah, definite.
Shall we do it?
It will do it.
Yeah?
We'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Right. We're going to do it.
So you're going to leave me what?
£10.
£10.
Thanks for that.
Is that all right?
You're right.
Taxi! Time's up. Let's check out what the red team bought, eh? Oh, here's another. They communally decided on an Art Nouveau chalice for £65, bless them. Then they went all soft over a soapstone carving for £65. Holy Moses. And finally, they closed the deal on a 17th century Bible box for £160. Say your prayers.
Now, girls,
Yes.
how lovely was that?
Awesome.
Was it awesome?
Brilliant
How
fun.
much did
Yeah.
you spend, you two?
290.
That's what I heard. That's a good number, isn't it? 290. Risk all.
Oh, absolutely.
He who dares wins. Okay, fine. Now, you spent 290. We like the sound of that.
Yeah.
Which is your favourite piece, Lise?
It's the Bible box.
The Bible box is your favourite. You get something
Absolutely.
spiritual from it,
I
right?
did, yeah.
Yes. Which is your favourite bit?
My favourite bit is also the box.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Boxing
And
clever
mine.
you are today. And
And
yours?
yours.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're a team, aren't we?
You're not supposed to have a favourite.
Aren't I?
You're supposed to love me more than anybody
You know
else.
I love you. Goes without
Okay,
saying.
now, that's your prediction. Which piece is going to bring the biggest profit, Lise?
It's got to be the goblet.
The goblet. Do you
Yes.
agree with the goblet?
The goblet.
Do you agree with the goblet?
I'm a team member. I'm
just-
with the goblet, yeah.
You're just so agreeable. That's what a bunch of creeps. No! Anyway, super. So that means I'd like £10 of leftover lolly, please.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, what do you mean okay?
There you
There we
are.
go. It's not so okay. He's
Right.
got to go and
Yeah.
spend it profitably now.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Excellent. It's meant to be team play. I'm left with a tenner.
Exactly. Should be enough for a couple of pairs of trousers anyway.
How dare you?
Anyway, very good luck. Meanwhile, why don't we check out what the blue team bought, eh?
First they were drawn to a hand-painted 19th century bone china coffee cup and a saucer for £30. Cheers. They scooped up an Art Deco moulded glass dish for £60. Together with a French Art Deco travel clock for £40. Well, girls, that was great, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Good fun.
Which is your favourite item?
The clock.
The
travel
clock. Travel clock. Do you agree with that, Sue?
I'd agree with that, yes. I really like the clock.
It chimes for you, does it?
Yes, it
Good.
does actually.
And is it going to bring the biggest profit?
No.
No.
I think the cabinet cup and saucer is going to bring the biggest profit.
You agree with that, Sue?
Yeah, I think it will do, yes.
Because of the
Lovely.
price
Yes.
we got it at.
And how much did you spend?
130.
£130. I'd like £170 of leftover lolly, please. Thank you,
Okay.
Sue, too. That's very nice.
Blow away.
That is a jolly nice sum of money to give to
is,
my old
isn't
friend,
it?
my old mate, my old
Yeah.
mucker. What are you going to spend it on?
Wisely, wisely.
I have got a little inkling. It just depends on the price.
That's it. As ever,
As ever.
cautious Kate. Anyway, good luck, teams, and good luck, Kate.
Now let's find out what our auctioneer makes of the team's buys. Can you imagine a bigger thrill than popping from Peterborough to Lichfield to be at Richard Winterton's with Richard Winterton himself? Richard, good morning.
And good morning to you, and it's beautiful here in Lichfield.
Isn't it just? And we've got some splendid objects, which kicks off with a polished pewter chalice, I suppose. Do you like it?
I personally don't, but these chalices are starting to have a bit of a following, and we've had quite success with chalices lately. Doesn't do anything for me, but I can see.
How much?
We've gone 70 to 90.
You are a marvellous man. £65 paid.
Okay.
That's absolutely splendido. Then, next door, we've got the classic in brand new Chinese works of art. This is a piece of white soapstone sitting on a green soapstone base. Churned out, yes?
Yeah. Oh.
Container load came over, no doubt.
Yep.
So, how much for this particular lump?
30 to 40.
30 to 40, brilliant. £65 paid.
Okay.
And then we move from the ridiculous to the sublime, which is this very nice 17th century oak Bible box. We're rather more comfortable on this territory, aren't
Yes.
we, Richard?
Yeah, I love it.
Plank construction, but right as rain. Worth how much?
We've gone 120 to 150 on it.
Okay, £160 paid, which you could easily make, couldn't it?
It could well do. They paid a lot of money for it. I'm not surprised. I think it's fab. I wish the younger generation or whatever start to collect this sort of thing. They're more interested in the 70s sort of stuff at the moment, but I think that's beautiful.
Good. Well, with a bit of luck, they'll make a wee profit on that. They'll make a wee profit on maybe all of it, but in case not, let's have a look at that bonus buy. Now, girls, this is exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
You naughtily spent £290. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
And gave our man, Dave, £10. David?
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you spend it on?
I blew the lot.
Oh!
Oh! Now, you ladies strike me as a pair of girls who would like to participate in a little snuff every now and again.
Steady.
I don't know what you mean. Open the box.
And have a look inside. Yeah, 19th century, 1880, probably something like that. More than likely for a lady. It's papier-mâché with lovely mother-of-pearl inlay there, quite possibly French. It's a mass-produced thing, there's no doubt about it. It isn't screaming quality, but it's fantastically charming.
I mean, it's badly rubbed, isn't it?
Yeah,
but
it's well
No,
it's
well
beloved.
used, Tim.
Well, it's called pre-owned, actually. No,
Pre-owned?
seriously. He spent £10. There is one question to ask him.
How much do you think that will go for?
10 to 20, might make 25.
So I might get a coffee and a muffin.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Right.
You're not going on holiday with it.
Why don't we find out what the auctioneer thinks about Dave's snuff box? So, Richard, if you've only got £10 left to go shopping for a bonus buy with, that is what you come up with. If you're
Right.
tatty, a bit.
It's got a bit of work to it. It's got, you know, the people do like these.
Character?
You know, it's got that. It's a bit weak as snuff boxes go, and it's a bit scuffed. We've gone with no guide, so...
No guide means it could make anything.
Make anything,
Yeah, £5, £10.
Could do, yeah.
Could do. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Well, as only £10 was spent,
Okay.
no great sweat there. Anyway, thank you, Richard. That's it for the Reds. Now for the Blues, and their first item is this teacup and saucer.
Yep. Okay.
Lovely pink Sèvres-looking colour scheme. Is it a desirable object?
This is perfect to the items which are really not in favour at the moment. You know, we've gone 20 to 30 on it, but it would have been, what, 80, 90, £100, give it 6 or 7, 8 years ago. Now, unless you've been left it by dear old Gran, then you'd be wanting to keep it, and it's special, but I don't think people would physically go out and buy it these days.
If Gran had left you a house with it.
Be great.
Yeah, if she left you the house, you'd look after the teacup, wouldn't you? Yeah. But if all that came out of the will was, I do give and bequeath my pink teacup and saucer, you might not be so fussed.
You won't be chuffed, would you?
No, OK. Anyway, 20 to 30 is your estimate.
Yep.
£30 is what Kate paid, so we're not a million miles apart.
OK.
Next up is the Lalique-looking opalescent glass moulded dish with 2 lips. How'd you rate that?
It's the sort of thing that really would have been popular, you know, a few years ago, and it was just a bit off the boil at the moment, and that's a bit scratched. It's a bit tired looking, isn't it? Yeah, well, we've gone 50 to 60 on it, so...
Don't worry, £60 was paid,
Okay.
so that's not too bad.
Okay.
Then, moving on to the Art Deco travelling timepiece, how do you rate that?
I like this. These are always popular, you know, and in the sale room there's going to be quite a few hands going for this one.
You reckon?
Yeah, I quite like that. Yeah, we've got 30 to 40 on it. It should make that.
Good. £40 paid.
Yeah, it's okay.
So, all round, we should have a few white faces, shouldn't we? We should. But in case not, they'll need the bonus buy, so let's go and have a look at it. So, Sisu, £170 of leftover lolly was entrusted to Kate. Kate, what did you spend?
Are you ready, ladies? Go on. This. So this is a pig pincushion. It's Edwardian in date. In fact, we've got a very clear silver hallmark just on the side here. So it dates to 1906. It's by quite a well-known maker, Adey and Lovekin, who were known for making small little commercial silver pieces. And I think he's rather nice.
I think he's lovely. That's beautiful.
What do you think, Sue?
I like him, but I need to know how much he's going to cost.
OK, well, he cost me £160.
Well, that's a lot of bacon.
Sharp intake of
Gosh.
I've seen these going for anything from 120 to towards £200.
Right.
So that is a pretty fair price.
Yes, 160.
Gosh. And what do we think? I don't know. Oh.
Well, you don't have to choose right now, girls. What you do is to pick later, after the sale of your first 3 items. But right now, let's find out what the auctioneer thinks about Kate's little piggy. OK, hold on to your trotters.
OK. These are really popular. As pin cushions go, it's a good example. It's great. It's a good bit of fun, and they are collectible. There's collectors out there, so it should sell pretty good. We've got 100 to 120 on it. It should get to there.
OK, fine. Well, I'm afraid Kate's paid the full whack. She's paid £160. Does it stand any chance of making £160?
I think we'll be struggling. I really do.
Fine. Well, with any luck, the team won't go for it. Still, you're in good voice.
Yes, looking forward to it.
So are we. Thank you, Richard.
10 I bid. £10 right away at £10. £10 I bid in.
Now, children, Lisa, Karen, how are you feeling?
Nervous?
Are you?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm excited.
Isn't it rather like your first day at school when you went off together as 9-year-olds or whatever it was, when your friendship started?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you've got your nouveau polished pewter chalice, which you paid £65 for, which the auctioneer thinks is FAB, and he has put £70 to £90 on it.
Very good. Excellent.
Your polished pewter chalice, and here it comes.
We have the chalice now. £20 I'm bid at 25, £30, £5.40, £5.50. £50 I'm bid on the book at £50. At £50, the room's out at 50, internet out at 50, all done, sold at 50.
Oh dear. Bad luck.
Okay.
I sent up a prayer for that and it didn't work. Minus 15.
883 we go to. £20 I'm bid. 25. £30 bid. £30 I'm bid on the book at £30. At £30. At £30 I'm bid at £30. Internet's out. Room is out. £30 here. All done. Sold at 30.
Minus £35. Sorry about that, team. Go say your prayers for this.
The Bible box now. £90 I'm bid. At £90, 100. 110, madam.
Go on.
110. 120. 130. 140. 140 by the door. 140. Everyone else out. Sold at 140.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's minus £20, which means overall you're minus £70. All right. Well, you punted, didn't you? You spent the £2.90. You were very brave. You spent nearly all your money. Anyway, there we are. You're minus 70. What are you going to do? You're going to go with the snuff box?
Yeah.
It's going to have to do terribly well to get you out of the poo-poo, frankly.
I believe in miracles.
I believe in miracles. Oh, no, maybe I... Anyway, you happy with this?
Yeah.
You're not really. But aren't they sporting, our girls? Anyway, there we are.
Come on.
Don't let any adversity drive you down, right?
No, never.
You're not going to do that, are you guys?
No.
You'll rise up above it, wouldn't you? Yeah, OK, fine. I love it. OK, you're going with the bonus buy. Here it comes.
Good.
Little pocket snuff box now. There it is. Nothing on my book. Start me off then. £10. £10, £5. Start yours. Where you go. £2 to start me. £2, £3, £4, £5, £6.
Go on.
Go on.
£7. 7 right in there. £8, £10, £12, £14, £16,
David Harper.
£18, £20, £20 on my left at £20. Sold at 20.
£20 is plus £10. That's why he's called a legend. Anyway, that reduces your losses to minus 60, which could easily, on the scale of things, be a winning score today. So say not a word to the Blues.
No.
Thank you very much, girls.
All right.
Thank you, Dave. Now, Susu, do you know how the Reds got on? No. Good. We don't want you to know. The first, the coffee can and saucer.
Yes.
And it's beautifully painted. And I love that pink, don't you?
I do.
It's a super pink, little jewels, little blobs of enamel on the surface. It's a lovely thing. His estimate is £20 to £30. £30 you paid. £30 is no money for it, really. Not to a collector who wants a pretty little thing for a cabinet. And here it comes. Look how pretty that is.
The coffee can and the saucer then. £10 to start me. £10, £10. Anyone to start me? £10, I've got you, madam, at 10, 12, 15, 18, £20, £20. Internet, you're out as well. At £20 I'm bid. 25 internet. 30 in the room. 30 in the room at £30. Internet out at £30. £30. On the left at £30. All
dear.
gone. Sold at £30.
Wiped its face. No profit, no loss.
The Art Deco this time. Glass dish there. Moulded tulip design. £20 I'm bid. 25, 30, 40, 5, 50. 50 I'm bid in the room. 50 in the room. Is that £50? £60.
Yes.
Yes. Good God. £70 at the back at £70. At the £70. Sold then at £70.
Okay, good. Plus £10. That's good.
The Art Deco French Jazz Travel Timepiece. 5 bids on the book. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. £60 I have. £60 I'm bid. £60. At £60. At £60. At £60. The room is out at £60. At £60. Internet's gone. All the bids, the money on the book at £60. Sold at 60.
Plus 20. Super, girls. So overall, you're plus £30. Now the big decision is what to do next. To go with the pig or not. It's very nice to have cash in the bank, right? Which is what you've got. £30 worth of profit. Difficult enough to find. Are you going to go with a £160 pig, or are you going to park the pig and stick with your cash?
I've got a lot of faith in that porker.
I'm tempted to stay with the profit that we've had.
Okay, well,
That's such a difficult decision, that is.
it is
It's
a
a hard
difficult
one.
because you love it, but on the other hand, you have got a little profit.
Yes.
Okay, quickly then. We need a decision.
We're going to go for it.
Yes, we are. Sure. I know you think it's high, but I think...
Yeah.
You don't have to, you know.
No, let's go for it.
You can stick if you want to.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
You're going to go with it. Okay, well, there we go. The decision's made. You've had your chance. We're only here once. Okay, fine.
I know.
Okay, you're going with the bonus buy, and we're going to sell it right now. Here it comes.
We now go to the little silver pig pin cushion. 50, 60, 70, £70 a bid, £70 a bid. Internet's coming out again. £80 internet, £90 a bid, £90, £100 the internet, £110, £120 internet, £120 with the internet at £120, £120, £130. £130 internet at £130, £130, £130 with the internet at £130. The room's out, internet's got it. Sold at £130.
130 is minus 30, which means you got nothing.
I'm so sorry, ladies.
Nothing.
I'll go and
All
shoot
this
myself
work,
over there.
all this effort, and we've got absolutely nowhere.
But we were right on the plate and the clock.
Oh, yes, we were right.
We were right.
You still got absolutely nowhere. Oh dear, that is the peculiar thing about life, isn't it?
It is.
Anyway, so it could be a winning score having nothing.
Yeah.
On this programme, it could anyway.
How bad do I feel?
No. I mean, I tell you, it was just a tickle away. Come on. All that bidding on the internet, nobody here in the room. Very exciting, Kate. Okay, girls. Well, that's fine, isn't it? Don't say a word to the Reds. And all will be revealed in a moment.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Well, what fun we've had. Have we had fun?
Oh, we have.
I mean, it's been a gas, hasn't it?
Brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. All girl teams with the exception of Dave.
Thanks for noticing.
As if you hadn't noticed, which is marvellous. So, how do we think we're doing? Have you been chatting at all, one to the other?
A bit rubbish.
Well, that would be a prediction, Dave, I have to say. And actually, the team that is running up today are the Reds. Bad luck, Reds. Yeah. Minus £60 you are, girls.
Yeah.
But for the Blues, we have a tremendous result because they worked like dingo. They did extraordinarily well, and they finished up by not making any profit at all. Right? We have the ultimate wiped face here. No profit, no loss. You had £30. You went with the bonus buy, and then you finished up with nothing. Still, it did turn out to be a bit of a swine, that pig, didn't it? Okay, that's it. Join us soon for some more bargain hunting. Yes? Yes!
In 45 minutes, a mother seeks justice by attacking a magistrate. Doctors after the news. At 2:15, today's celebrity pressure pad team captains are weather girl Sian Lloyd and Duncan from Blue. And later, amazing antiques go to auction in Wiltshire. Brand new Flog It here on BBC One at 4:30.
The world's greatest half marathon will have its millionth finisher, the Great North Run, Sunday morning at 9:30 on BBC One.
After a fiery clash between Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg in Belgium, it's the Italian Grand Prix this weekend. Qualifying is live here on BBC One at 12:10 tomorrow, with the race itself at the same time on Sunday. And if you miss it live, there's highlights on BBC 3 at 7.
The 15-hour docu-series about the breeding habits of Icelandic shellfish is back.
I find this very hard to believe.
Okay. It's actually about the warm beverage preference of British celebrities.
What sort of tea bags do you favour?
The old David Mitchell Chatterpie.
Facial hair phobia?
I am absolutely repulsed by beards.
Seriously, would I lie to you?
It's true, you know.
The new series starts next Friday at 8:30 on BBC One.
Good afternoon. The lunchtime news now on BBC One with Rita Chakrabarti.
Britain is to commit 1,000 troops to a new NATO rapid reaction force able to deploy anywhere within 48 hours. As fighting continues in Ukraine, there's international condemnation of Russia's involvement.
Russia is ripping up the rule book with its annexation of Crimea and its troops on sovereign soil in Ukraine.
We'll be looking at why Ukraine is causing such concern and what Britain's military commitment means. Also this lunchtime, more police on patrol in Calais as migrants continue to make their way across the Channel to the UK. Britain's high streets open for business. New figures show shop vacancies at their lowest level for 4 years. The Lord Mayor of London, Fiona Woolf, is the new head of the independent inquiry into historical child sex abuse. And walking with the world's biggest dinosaur, meet the 26-metre-long Dreadnoughtus.
Later on BBC London, police shoot dead a man who was threatening a woman with a knife at a house in Islington. And tributes are paid to the grandmother who was beheaded in Edmonton yesterday.
Good afternoon and welcome to the BBC News at 1. Downing Street says Britain will contribute 1,000 troops to a new NATO rapid reaction force, which will be British-led and which could be deployed to any trouble spots, such as Ukraine or the Middle East, within 48 hours. At the final day of the NATO summit in Wales, the focus remained on Ukraine, with David Cameron expressing serious doubts about plans for a ceasefire between Kiev and Moscow. Fighting between pro-Russian rebels and government forces is continuing in the east of the country, and NATO leaders are determined to impose further sanctions against Russia. Our diplomatic correspondent Bridget Kendall sent this report.
Britain's Red Arrows, with aircraft from 8 other NATO nations. An impressive flypast, but where might NATO's air power be used in earnest and not just for show? As leaders watched the skies, elsewhere foreign and defence ministers conferred over plans to counter the extremist Islamic threat in Iraq and Syria. The Americans want a coalition ready before world leaders meet at the UN in 2 weeks' time. At this morning's round table session, it was NATO's new rapid reaction force that was showcased to respond swiftly to global emergencies and counter any more Russian expansionism on NATO's borders.
In 2002, NATO stood down its high readiness force. I hope that today we can agree a multinational spearhead force deployable anywhere in the world in just 2 to 5 days.
And there are other plans to counter Russian aggression. New EU and US sanctions. Britain thinks they should be slapped on Russia regardless of peace talks in Belarus today, which have raised hopes of a ceasefire in Ukraine.
Based on our experience, what would be sensible is to go ahead with the plan for increased sanctions. If there is a ceasefire, if it is signed, and if it is then implemented, we can then look at lifting sanctions off.
And this is why Britain is suspicious that peace moves may not work. Fierce fighting on the ground in eastern Ukraine. This was Mariupol in the southeast, shelling by Grad missiles on the outskirts, where for days Ukrainian government troops have been fearing an assault by pro-Russian rebels. Today, the peace talks in Belarus are being watched closely. Envoys from Russia, Ukraine and rebel representatives are working on a ceasefire mechanism. If agreed, it could in theory lead to a truce. But here at the NATO summit, they're not holding their breath, pointing out this isn't the first time President Putin has come up with a new ceasefire plan, just as Western leaders are planning to ramp up their sanctions. All the more reason, then, they say, to keep up the pressure and thereby strengthen Ukraine's negotiating hand. Bridget Kendall, BBC News, at the NATO summit in Newport.
Well, as we've heard, the volatile situation in Ukraine is causing great concern among world leaders. So how did we get here, and just what are the dangers? Well, with me is our correspondent Christian Fraser. Christian.
Rita, thank you. Let's go back to the turn of the year and the start of the Ukraine conflict. You'll remember President Yanukovych abandoned that agreement to forge closer ties with the EU, bringing thousands out onto the streets. It culminated in February in one of the bloodiest days of the violence. 88 protesters were shot dead in Kiev by snipers loyal to the outgoing president. Within a month of the new interim government taking power, Russian forces were massing on Ukraine's eastern border, followed by the quick annexation of Crimea, so strategically important to the Russian Black Sea Fleet. I want to show you this map that was issued yesterday by the National Security and Defence Council in Ukraine. It's quite complicated, but it shows you the flashpoints, Lugansk up here, Donetsk, and a worrying situation down here in Mariupol. And just look at the Russian troops that are now on the eastern Ukrainian border. The NATO satellite imagery demonstrates how momentum is shifting, in fact quite decisively this past week, in favour of the rebels who were backed, according to everyone but Moscow, by the thousands of Russian troops now inside Ukraine. You can see the column there, and we can also put up some unverified footage from Lugansk this week, film that would appear to show a similar Russian column on the move. So, what is Russia up to? Well, let's shift our perspective for a moment. Have a look at what Moscow sees. NATO has grown, particularly since 2004, right onto Russia's doorstep. Ukraine is now the buffer. And one of President Putin's main objectives here is to stop his biggest neighbour drifting to the alliance.
At the moment, Moscow is seeing that NATO is trying to surround it from the west and from the south as well. And basically, by military standards, that's a naked aggression.
Ukraine is not a member of NATO, so it doesn't have the protection of Article 5, the agreement that an attack on one state is an attack on all. But other satellite states do, the likes of Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, all members of NATO and all feeling increasingly nervous.
The Baltic countries are very happy to see that the NATO readiness, high readiness units are operating in the Baltic Sea. So, new deployments at sea. There have been fighter jets moved to Lithuania and Romania. These are American paratroopers arriving in Estonia. The dilemma is how to reassure these NATO members, sending that clear signal to Russia without antagonizing President Putin further. And the compromise, it seems, is this new multinational force, capable of deploying within just 48 hours. It's titled the Readiness Action Plan. Ammunition, command and logistics, as you've seen, being pre-positioned in Baltic states. In other words, we've gone back in time. Not necessarily to a new Cold War, but NATO certainly back to its main purpose, collective territorial defence.
Thanks very much, Christian. Well, let's go back to the NATO summit and speak to Norman Smith now. And Norman, what do you make of this rapid reaction force? How significant is it?
Well, it's just one of a series of significant announcements by NATO leaders today designed to send a clear message to President Putin to back off over Ukraine and to back off over any other ambitions he might have in Eastern Europe. Because this new rapid reaction force, which will be British-led, British-dominated, crucially will be in Eastern Europe with its headquarters in Poland. And over the next 2 years or so, we will see a series of military exercises by NATO along its eastern flank with Russia. Again, Britain contributing some 3,500 forces to that. And the next NATO summit will be in Warsaw in Poland. On top of that, NATO leaders were quite clear that the latest ceasefire proposals by President Putin, they don't trust them. They don't believe them. They are going to go ahead with sanctions come what may. So later today we will see new sanctions announced in Washington and Brussels designed to curb exports of defense material to Russia, further financial restrictions and further restrictions on the energy sector. Lastly, in the past few minutes we heard from the Secretary General of NATO, Anders Fogh Rasmussen, who significantly said NATO was going to retain its open door policy to new applicants. In other words, it's going to encourage new members to apply to join. Among those seeking to join is Ukraine, a move that will be deeply resisted in Moscow. So what we are seeing, Rita, is NATO trying to put a protective arm around Ukraine.
OK, Norman, thank you very much. Extra police are being deployed in Calais to tackle a rise in the number of people trying to get to Britain illegally. For the first time, Eurotunnel has warned its customers that people are now trying to smuggle themselves in via private cars, not just lorries. The French authorities say they've never seen such high numbers of migrants. Well, our correspondent Leah Gooding is in Calais for us now. Leah.
Good afternoon, Rita. Well, this location is where migrants turn up every single day for their only hot meal of the day. Many of them arriving here with next to nothing can face a very uncertain future. And in about an hour's time, we are expecting migrants to gather here for demonstrations. They're unhappy with the lack of support they say they get when they do arrive here. But still, many are arriving every day in the hope that they'll reach Britain, as I've been finding out.
The desperation here is clear. Day after day, migrants